Howdy folks, my name is Janaki.
And this is Madame Bathsheba.
And together we are Catomancy Tarot. So hello, welcome. I know it's been a minute, but I have some very exciting news. So for years and years, for almost a decade, I've been working on a PhD in anthropology. And since you've seen me last, I've written like half of my dissertation, turned it in, and defended. So now I'm technically a doctor, and I'm Dr. Janaki. So hello and welcome to this new iteration of Dr. Janaki and Madame Bathsheba. It's been crazy. It's been really intense. It's been a big whirlwind. Lots of emotions. It was like down to the wire, and I wish I could say that I'm just feeling like super relieved and super proud and all of those like kind of like more positive things, but it's been a long haul, and I've just been having a lot of like big complicated feelings about this like end of a cycle, end of an era. I have a really complicated relationship with academia. um, I was really down to the wire, so I wasn't really producing my best work, but like the best dissertation is a done dissertation. So, I'm just kind of like, whew, I just got back from Michigan and I landed, and I'm kind of like now needing to figure out, I need a job. I need to figure out, how do I get health insurance? All of these, like, next chapter, big adult, big transition thing. So that's what I've been up to, and that's why I've been away for so long. So I figured a little basket video was far overdue. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna the theme. I'm doing my it's a play on the cozy fall decks vibe. I figured we would do kind of like bedtime story decks. I really like reading tarot right before bedtime, and I've been using a lot of kind of like decks that like evoke the bedtime story vibes, just like a little picture book before bed. So that's the theme. I know it's Halloween week. I've done a spooky goth decks video in the past, so if that's more of the thing you're looking for, do check back because I do have something along those lines. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the decks I've been using recently. Really, I've just been trying to like self-soothe, self-comfort. Things have been crazy. And then stick around towards the end of the video and we'll do a little fall collective reading. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in my basket this month. I just want to take a moment before our regularly scheduled content to let you guys know that I've also just made it through another huge pouch drop. So if you've been wanting to get a pouch from me, I have a full drop that I am going to be uploading to Etsy. So I've got pouches in small, regular, and then also the large size. So if you've been wanting one, now would be a great time. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to make these pouches. I know the world is crazy right now, but though I import my fabrics from India, and those tariffs are gnarly. I know we've all been affected by them, but I feel some type of way about them. I'm distraught. So I'll see what I can do if I can get more fabric. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I've got a new drop. So support me if you would like during this transitory time where I'm looking for employment. It would be greatly appreciated. You guys have been awesome. So get them while you can. They usually sell out pretty quickly. So yeah, so now end of my little personal ad, and we'll jump right into the decks. So to start us off, I have to talk about this Oracle deck by Broccoli. This is the Fairy Tale Oracle. I think this is the fourth Oracle deck that I have from them. I think they now have 6. And I wasn't sure about this one at first, but I really love it. I think it's great. I like the colors. I like the box. And I think this is, for me, this is one of the more kind of like successful Oracle decks they have. I think my favorite, all-time favorite, is still the Seashell. But the reason I like this one a lot in comparison to some others is I feel like the keywords on this deck make way more sense to me than a lot of the other ones. I think like unlike the seashell or the mushroom, which I'll show in a second, or some of the oracle other ones, where I don't, I know if the cat comes up in a reading, I already have associations with the cat or cloak, whereas I don't necessarily have them for a particular seashell or mushroom, or sometimes even flower or gemstone. And to me, this is just such a good reader. Like, it reads a lot better for me. So I've been pairing this with a couple things, but my favorite one to pair it with is the Transformational Tarot by Arnel Ando. This is a vintage 90s deck. And I've been really enjoying it recently, and I think it goes super well with the broccoli decks, with this one in particular. Let's see, how we doing? Are we doing? It's been a second here. I want to make sure we're all in frame. We're all happy. Let's see. I think that's pretty decent. Yeah, and so it just feels very enchanted. I will say that there's a couple cards in Transformational Tarot that I absolutely can't stand, and I will say that it's definitely a product of its time. But I think there's like 3 or 4 cards that I really hate, but I love everything else, so it kind of evens out. Some of the more like there's a skateboarder and there's a guy on a motorcycle, and it wigs me out. I don't know why. The deck creator who created the Folkloric Forest and Coastal Curiosities, yeah, this is the card I was talking about. These two in particular, like, I wish were not in the deck. I really hate them. Anyways, yeah, that deck creator made a really beautiful video about this oracle deck, and about she drew my attention to the fact that so many of the cards have this kind of like patchwork cloth motif, like a patchwork kind of blanket in the background, and that's at first I didn't quite clock that, but you can like really see it in some of the cards, that there's this patchwork element that I think just makes it really, really cozy, and makes it yeah. I think there's a rose in their flower deck too. Here we are. Castle, 9 of Cups, Ace of Swords. This makes me think of the Castle in the Clouds card from the Tantric Dakini Oracle. Anyways, so that is our first kind of bedtime story combo. And in a similar vein as the Fairy Tale Oracle, which was a new release this fall, or late summer, I guess. Another Oracle deck that fits this theme perfectly. That was, I think it was a July release. I'm sure you've seen it by now. It's Rockpool's Folklore Oracle, by Giada Rose, who is the illustrator for, I think, some of the earlier seasons of the Witch decks. And this one is super cute. I like the watercolor illustration style. I don't have a lot of decks that are kind of like illustrated in this style. Here's the backs. It's got this kind of like green edges, which are fun. And then one thing that kind of sets this deck in particular apart is it has the title, and then it has the like a question at the bottom. Sleep, what do your dreams illuminate? True love, do you feel whole? The well, where lies the source? So yeah, yeah, I like the I don't know if I necessarily I don't know if everyone needs both of them, because really they're doing a very similar thing, just in different art styles. But I like them both. I was feeling this kind of like I've been like I'm an audiobook listener. I binge audiobooks like crazy. And so I've just been I've been doing that as a survival tactic a lot recently. So the deck I've been pairing this with is the Black Lily Tarot, and I think it goes so well. Like I think this is definitely like a top tier pairing. Just trying to get everybody nice and framed for you. Like the color palettes are really similar. They're both kind of watercolor, and yeah, they just read so well together. If you've been using this deck, I'm curious, what have you been pairing with it? So yeah, it does have that very folklore, very bedtime story vibe to it. I love Selkies. I read a book when I was a kid about a Selkie, and it made such an impression on me. Yeah, love a Selkie. We've got our Hermit here, the Knight of Wands in the world. Yeah, really lovely pairing. It's definitely a vibe. I think it works well for the fall. I think the Black Lily just like goes so well with everything, but this one in particular. And then the other deck that I've been pairing with this oracle is a Kickstarter that I got in. It's the Kamina Tarot. So this is a majors only deck by the printing press Scarlet Hound, which is art by Lou Benesh. Apologies, I'm not sure how to pronounce their last name, and then written by Letitia Barbier. So it's beautiful. It's like super high quality. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to back it, just because it was quite pricey for a majors only deck, but the artwork is so beautiful that I just had to, and I think they're going to at some point, it's really unclear, the communication was unclear, whether or not they're going to expand this to a full deck at some point. It's got this really lovely rose petal finish. I love this devil so much. It's really good. But this is another one, like it needs, because it's just a majors only deck, to read it, you kind of need a friend. So I was playing around with this pairing, and I think it works all right. If you have this deck, I'm curious what you've been using it with. Um, I think it's a pretty combo. I think it's a pretty combo. I think that, yeah, this deck would also just be like really excellent for just like straight up altar work. It also has that kind of, it's very Tarot de Marseille inspired, but it has a little bit of a, I don't know, storybook quality to it. So those, that's what I've been using with this Folklore Oracle. So up next we have a pairing that's a little bit more kind of like dark fantasy but very fall. And so I've been using the Lacrimosa Tarot. Finally, it's like the time of year, perfect time of year for it, but I've been using it all year round, and I've been using it with the Mushroom Oracle. And together they totally give like dark gothic fantasy. And I really like this pairing. The Lacrimosa is by Rose Bay, and the Mushroom Oracle is another one of Broccoli Magazine's decks. And I've been, reading a lot of fantasy, dark fantasy, and this definitely gives dark fantasy together for sure. The color palette in the Mushroom deck is really beautiful. It just kind of like, I don't know, I think they work really well together. There's a bunch of other decks that I've been, that I will pair the Lacrimosa with, but this time of year, there's something about this pairing that just feels decidedly October to me. I just think we've got some lush fabrics. We've got some like, I don't know. I just think it works super well together. What have you guys been reading anything fun for spooky season? Any dark fantasy recommendations? I'm always interested. Yeah, I think this is, I think this one's really pretty, and it just kind of, the Lacrimosa just kind of like goths the mushrooms up a little bit, and the mushrooms just make the Lacrimosa feel very, very autumnal to me. But I will say I do like the keywords on the Fairy Tale Oracle a lot better. But yeah, this is my dark fantasy. Okay, I know a lot of people are really into dark academia right now. And I just like, I'm so sick of academia, and I have a hard time with a lot of the tropes in dark academia. Sometimes it's rare to find some that's like very well done. On my TBR right now is Catabasis or Catabasis, however you want to say it, by R.F. Kuang. I'm a big R.F. Kuang fan, and Catabasis, the synopsis, as I've been told it, is like two grad students have to journey through like Dante's Inferno version of hell in order to like rescue their abusive advisor, and that's just like a little too on the nose for me. So like I pre-ordered it, was really excited, heard great things, and then like now is not the time for me to dip into that. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So I have shown the next pairing many times on my channel. This is one of my favorite deck combos. So this is a French oracle. It's the Marvelous Medieval Oracle by Gulliver the Adventurer. And then this is the Solara Occulto, and I've got the first edition, which comes with the borders. And I think it's such a good. This is another one that is just like a good. It's giving bedtime story. Very fall. Very. It's, you know, we're doing a restricted color scheme here. Yeah, like this is one of my all-time like favorite cozy combos, and I get such good readings out of these guys. Got the Devil, Melusian, and Two of Cups. I like we're doing bat wings. Everyone's got wings here. I think I might be a bat for Halloween. I'm going to a Halloween show this year. This is the first time in like years and years and years and years that I'm doing something fun for Halloween. So I'm really excited about it. Got Nine of Swords, Abandonment, and Prudence. Yeah. This combo is just like such an incisive reader for me. Like you would think that I don't know, it just it always really resonates. I always get good readings from this combo. This is a French mass market deck. I think this was kickstarted again recently, but in a slightly altered version. Here we're doing hats. Hats across the board. All right, that's, I'm sure if you've been around here for a while, you've seen me talk about that being kind of like one of my all-time favorite deck pairings. And it is the season, so I got them both out again. Oh, can you hear that? Kitty says hi. Hey Kitty. Hello. She's been, I had a wonderful cat sitter while I was gone, but whenever I get back in town, my cat gets extra noisy. So the next deck is kind of like one of my, like, it's new to my collection, but it was actually like the very first Oracle deck I ever used. My mom had a copy of this deck when it first came out in the 90s, so I was in elementary school, and I have distinct memories of this deck, of using it in elementary school. And it's not a deck I ever thought I would get, but I saw it for like $5 used online, and I was like, yeah, I think I just need this deck. It's Doreen Virtue, Healing with the Angels Oracle cards. I'm sure you've seen this deck. I saw it, I think, recently on Honey Lou's channel, and also I think Nova showed it as well. And I was like, yeah, I think I need this. I'm not a Doreen Virtue fan. I'm not like I'm not a fan of her oeuvre. I know she's gone through, you know, she renounced everything and became a hardcore evangelical Christian. Look, Doreen Virtue, PhD. Do you think if I make a deck, I should just put PhD after my name? It seems like what people do. I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. I edged my version. I did this kind of like two-tone edges that I think came out kind of fun. But yeah, I remember this deck from when I was a kid. I love so it's got these like super funky, colorful stained glass borders that I actually love. I love a deck with like funky borders. It's very angelic, very cherubic. It's very Christian coded in ways that I don't particularly jive with, and I don't think I would get this deck if I didn't have like distinct childhood memories of. But it's just like so cozy. It's a very straightforward reader. I gotta show you my favorite card as a kid. Um, yeah, it's the best card in the deck. I'm gonna find it. Watch, it's the last card. Here it is. I fucking love this unicorn when I was a kid. Like, I remember that this is the card I always wanted to get. Um, I always wanted to draw the unicorn. So I've been using this with a couple decks. The first one I've been using it with is another found art deck. This is the Noble Art Tarot. I've been talking about it. It's another fave that I've been using kind of consistently, and I think this is a great combo. Some of them are a little bit more like there's a few different type art styles in this deck. Some of it it's all just various levels of cheesy. But I've been big on the cheese factor recently. I want to know, what are your favorite cheesy oracle decks? Because there is a time and there is a place for them, I think. Wah. So that is the Noble Art Tarot, and then I've also been using for like ultimate cozy. I've been using. I was gifted this copy of the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner. I reached out to her. I helped to curate a museum exhibit on the tarot, which is going to be opening in Columbus, Ohio at Prototype, the Experimental Museum, sometime this fall. They still don't have an official date yet, so if you were waiting to hear about that, you haven't missed anything. I'm also waiting to hear about their opening plans. But some of Amy Zerner's original collage work is going to be in the exhibit, so I reached out to her and she sent me this version. I have many versions of the Enchanted Tarot. I actually, this one is usually a little bit bigger, but I trimmed it down to just have a little bit of the original colored border and no titles. I know this deck well enough that I don't need the titles, and it's an RWS clone, so like this is Death and this is the Chariot. I'm very familiar with the artwork. And so this is kind of like ultimate soft and cozy vibes. Sometimes tarot can be, I don't know, some decks can just, not cruel, but a little, make you feel a little vulnerable, and sometimes you just need you need some coziness. So this is another kind of like, I mean, yeah, I literally had this deck when I was a kid. Very fun, very cozy. So that is that pairing. Let's get everybody cleared away here. So the last combo is yeah, listening to a lot of fantasy audiobooks, but I've also been listening to a lot of sci-fi, and I feel like sci-fi can be a cozy bedtime story, but there aren't any good. Okay, there are sci-fi decks out there. Most of them feel very either like cyberpunk, which is not quite the like I like my perfect sci-fi deck just doesn't exist. Um, like there's either cyberpunk decks, there's fandom decks, so like the Star Trek deck, which is not not my vibe, not what I'm going for. If there was a fandom deck out there, I would love an Expanse tarot. Like especially if it was illustrated by the people who did some of those like graphic novels, that would be very cool. So there was a space themed deck that I've been trying to track down for ages and ages. It's out of print. I found this copy for like $15 and I was stoked about it. It's the Universe Cards by Kay Stopforth. There's only like 30, maybe like 32 cards in here, so it's a big deck, like it's the size of my hand, but it's a small deck in that there's not many cards. It's super new agey, but like the space vibes are kind of what I was looking for in a sci-fi deck. And I know like to most people the like deep space is like one of the least comforting things you could think about right before bed. But in a lot of these like sci-fi like space operas or like TV shows, there's always like the med bay on the starship that's like super high tech. And if I'm feeling like really anxious, like one of the safest places I can imagine myself is onto like uh like into the med bay on like one of my favorite, you know, I'm a huge Expanse fan. I joined a little like local Denver sci-fi fantasy reading group, and I reread because I've read it a million times, but the first book of Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I love the Rocinante. This is book one of The Expanse. And so like if I'm really anxious, I'll just imagine myself I'm just on the med bay in the Rocinante and everything's going to be all right because I've got this you know, I've got the crew around me and we're going to like we're gonna be all right. I don't know. Maybe space isn't cozy to everyone, but I don't have a great space themed like. There aren't that many good space themed like. I can't find a good space themed tarot deck. So what I've been using with this is this one, which I'm sure you've seen on my channel before. This is the Thoth Nebula by Nova. So it does the trick. It scratches the itch. Again, maybe like Thoth and space is not everyone's idea of cozy. But I like this combo. If it does what it needs to do. I'm into it. It's it can be my bedtime story if I want it to be. Yeah, Do you guys have a favorite sci-fi series? I'm always on the lookout. Yeah, very cool, very fun. So those are all the decks that I wanted to show you today. So now I'll go ahead and get set up, and I'll just do a little fall collective reading for us. All right, so I'm going to use the Fairy Tale Oracle and the Transformational Tarot, and we're going to just take a little look at where we're at and where we're heading for the fall, and some little steps along the way. So I'm going to do a little bit of an abridged version of a spread that you've maybe seen me do here in the past. It's my the way through spread. So I'm just going to do a version of it that's a little bit more contained. So first off, go ahead and cut the deck for us. Card from the top of the deck is going to represent where we're at currently. Card from the bottom of the deck is where we're headed. And then we're going to do 3 steps along the way here. And to support the reading, we're also going to draw some of these Fairy Tale Oracle cards. The cat is engaged as well. She's got her psychic juices flowing for us. So we're going to cut the deck there. And again, card from the top of the pile is going to go over here. Card from the bottom is over here where we're headed. And we're going to do 1 card for our kind of steps along the way here. All right, so let's take a look at where we're at currently. Ooh, 6 of Cups and the ball. Look at those together. That's pretty. Destiny, turning point, revelation. So I feel like when you go to the ball, that's when like the plot is advanced. You know, you meet the gent, or you hear the goss, or you get new information, or you make a new connection, and a new path kind of unfolds from there. And we've got this nice little slipper here. And the 6 of Cups is often a card of, I often see the 6s as some kind of like recovery card. From like 6s are the recovery from like the upset of the 5s. The 5s can be quite prickly. So with the 6 of Cups, we have this kind of like emotional recovery. So maybe this week it's like it's time to go out. Do so, like it's Halloween. I think a lot of us, you know, a lot of us in this space have fond childhood memories of Halloween, and it's like a time to kind of explore those kind of like nostalgic, like nourish the inner child, go to a Halloween party, even if you don't, you know, something like that. You know, maybe drop your slippers, see if anyone picks it up. I don't know. Or, you know, get dressed up, even if it's just to the office, or just something that kind of like brings a little joy, and like yeah, yeah, see what comes of it. So we've got those cards over here for us, and let's take a look at where we're heading. Ooh, so we've got the 8 of Cups here, and then we've also got bone, speech, opening, thresholds. Now I'm curious about this card. Let's take a look at the guidebook for this one. This is in the thing category. An earthly relic of one who has passed on. A bone is neither of this world nor the other, Bones possess resurrection magic. A bone buried under a juniper tree is reborn a bird, and a bone plucked from a watery grave is carved into a pipe that sings the name of its murderer. The body decays, but the bones stay, telling their story for the ages. The truth will come out. Interesting. Interesting. I like this idea of like the bones are the thing that will remain. And the Eight of Cups is often we've got our little bone skull in the chalice there. The Eight of Cups is often about leaving something that you've put a lot of emotional effort into in order to find something else. It's kind of like finding a moment or getting to a point where it's time to leave something in search of a new path. But there are things that will remain. Just because you're leaving something doesn't mean something that you've left behind will not remain in some kind of form. So I like this idea of thresholds, of leaving something behind in order to cross some sort of new threshold. So let's see our advice in getting to this point where we're ready to kind of leave something behind this fall. Shed some bones. So there are three kind of steps here. We have liberation, which is in this deck. This is card number 20. So that is our judgment card. We've got the Eight of Wands. And then we've also got the Fool. We've got the Dreamer. And our oracle card here is Maiden, Virtue, Ingenuity, Defiance. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, I don't know. This is a reading that's really resonating with me personally at this moment in time. We've got liberation, so this kind of ties into over here. We were talking about crossing some sort of threshold. So going from one level to the next, leveling up, leaving an older way of life and seeking a new one. And we've got that over here with the Fool also. We've got this kind of like Egyptian Ka bird like figure here, and we've got our baby little dreamer in our little dream bubbles. So taken some new steps towards, fall. Fall is all about that, letting things decay in order to find some new growth. So we've got, keep in mind, now might be a good time to kind of like dream up what it is that you want, what it is that's new that you want to be grown. And then we've also got the Eight of Wands. I don't know about you, but this time of year from like Halloween through Christmas just goes by so fast. So I feel like this is a sign that the pacing is just about to pick up. And then we've got our maiden. Our maiden is often our kind of like protagonist in the story, even if you don't identify as a maiden. But someone who is seen as having kind of this pure of heart, someone who is able to kind of like overcome obstacles in particular way, and someone who's also be able to like defy authority figures. And we've got a lot of authoritarianism that needs to be defied a little bit towards this end of the calendar year. So she's our kind of like stepping out into the world. Yeah, I guess this is our feeling like we've got our main character energy going on. So yeah, that's what we've got today. So I invite you all to have a ball this Halloween, to step out into the world. We're headed into new thresholds where it's time to kind of let some things go. And in order to do that, remember we're kind of like taking a new step into this next chapter here. Keep your dreams in mind and hold on tight. Things are about to kind of move a little bit faster, and yeah, I'll leave you with this maiden here. I hope you've enjoyed our little reading or little collective reading for you today. I hope you guys are all well out there in the world, and yeah, take a look at, I'll leave the link in the description for my Etsy store. I'd appreciate if you guys could take a look, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye for now.